Jacob, keep recapping. What else happened last time?
David, did you get too drunk? What's going on?
No, it was just a long weekend. Just a
How was the
long
wedding?
weekend.
So we made our list of who we're going to meet in which order, and I think we actually decided the Wolf Clan was going to be the first one because they're probably our least likely to ally ourselves with. So we're thinking if we put them first, that might, maybe it'll sway them a little bit enough to actually have a conversation. And then I think right after that we're gonna do the goat and then the horse. And I think we decided that on the last couple that we're gonna try to do some joint meetings with some clan houses, like the boar and the ox would be a joint meeting, and we're actually gonna split so that we all meet at the same time with these respective people, so that no one's last technically. So
But yeah, I think y'all say that like the first four, everybody, the top three dudes, y'all all wanted to be there, but after that, then yeah, like only 2 or 3 of y'all would have to go.
yeah, and we
Right.
assumed, and you
Yeah.
can tell us differently, but we assumed Jin would probably want to go to the Rat Clan, and I think you were going with, was it Ventus?
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
So you and
Where's
Ventus
Thunder?
gonna go to the Rat Clan.
Not
yeah,
here.
Where's Manny?
Oh no.
He probably is still sleeping.
Oh, Benny.
Manny Fanny.
Fast asleep.
So we did leave off with he was laying up in his tree staff. Remember his
Yeah, but
small
it's
tree?
also not a big tree, so it's just awkward.
That was hilarious.
So yeah,
He's
you
awkwardly-
constructed your list, which took some time. Well-deserved time. I mean, it's a big decision.
I feel like something happened with ravens and stuff.
Oh, y'all had multiple communications with y'all. Figured out how to use the ravens.
Yeah, there's
I'll
quite a
put your
bit of
hand
dialogue.
Because y'all wanted to reach out to the Wolf Clan, and once y'all found out that you just wave your hand, Aslos and Thunder waved their hands. So then when they had 2 ravens show up. Later on, I think you tried to give him a good berry, and Jaryu slapped it out of his hand, or out of the
Yeah.
Raven's mouth.
Jaryu is mean to
Yeah.
the Ravens.
Yeah, well, you don't,
don't
feed
trust
the
the
birds.
ravens.
Don't
Don't
feed the
trust
birds.
the ravens. Don't feed the birds.
The government's failed true.
Birds aren't real.
Birds aren't really.
Birds aren't real.
Very true.
Okay. And do you remember that the correspondence that you received from you sent Wolf Clan correspondence?
Oh, and they accepted it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all got it back.
It was
Yeah, y'all already
the
have,
very next
afternoon?
afternoon, I think.
It was for this. Yeah, this. I guess y'all were doing this in the evening. It was the next day. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Um,
We only had morning tea time, right?
Right. We just got done with morning tea time.
We
we're
did
all-
that. We rewrote that. Oh yeah, so it's today.
That was the night before.
because
the night
we
before is
rescheduled
when
the
y'all wrote-
forge. Yeah. We
Mhm.
wrote the night before.
Yeah, Aslos' letter to the Ice people or the Ice Lady and the Wolf Clan was the same time, night before. Response.
We
in
basically
the
told the
morning.
forge guy, tough shit. Maybe we'll come by at some other time.
God, I forgot about my letter. to
Oh,
the
y'all
Ice
talked
Lady.
about supper. Y'all were gonna do supper.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do supper at the forge. So we're gonna do afternoon tea with the wolf clan, and then supper at the forge. Oh dude, we got a
Yeah,
packed rest of our
supper.
day here.
Yeah, and I would add, I think, because I did listen to this a couple days ago. What's it called? Yokizos, you were talking about going to the Ox Clan to kind of delay them and make sure they know not to be offended that they're going to be in the last group because you trust them and stuff. I guess was the idea, something like
Right.
that.
I think. Well, that was gonna be part of the. I was gonna see if the Ox and the Boar clan would like to meet together, and also relay the information to them that we don't view them as last at all, but basically we're trying to play the game, so don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
In fact, Yokizos is gonna write that on a raven. Just send that to Undarn.
What if it gets intercepted?
Yeah, that was the whole idea. That's why you were gonna go like kind of sneak over there, Yokizos.
No,
doing
we
the
were gonna
whole
ask
plan.
Jin to go deliver it with the hat of disguise, but he wasn't there last.
Oh
time,
yeah,
so.
that's right.
So we might have you just go pop over and do that while we're doing like something real quick. Just deliver it and come back. Like it's not like a whole.
Or I could
combo.
just deliver it on the way to the rec land.
I don't think y'all can go to the Rat Clan yet. Do y'all have that list? Like,
Yeah,
or
I
you
just
can look
posted
at
it. I tried to.
What if I
separate-
do it sneakily?
oh yeah, I need to get in the game.
Oh,
What
I
What
don't know
if
why I
do
just
it
copied those. What the fuck?
Sneakily.
Yeah, that's weird.
Even in-
Yeah, I'll delete those for you.
Not even in the
I literally
game. Wake
copied
up.
the list and I copied those.
That was hot.
There we go.
Thanks.
That is the list.
And also, Kyle Derna's with y'all at this point. He showed up pre tea time with some sausage biscuits and whatnot
is?
to add to tea time.
Michael's
Derna, my character. Investigator that
okay,
needs
yeah,
to
yeah,
go find. Yeah, so I showed up a little early, asked a couple questions, and kind of.
Yeah,
I'll
he
go
didn't
keep us
even
on
mean to be
progress.
there for the smelter meeting guy, but he just happened to because time. He just showed up at the right time. I think you were just gonna drop off the biscuits, but then you decided to stay. Or
Yeah, I
something.
was gonna show up early, but I was like, yeah, it was too much not to. I couldn't. Derna couldn't walk away from all this. It was very entertaining, for sure.
I think you were the last one in the group that even got out of the house too.
Yeah, dude, David. Yeah, when I re-listened to it, David loses. He's like, Derna. You were by yourself.
And Derna.
And Derna. That was great.
Just watching it all unfold live was great. Because we all knew it was happening like almost right at the beginning of the, the meeting. We like all instantly sent a message like, "Hey, you want to do this?"
That's funny. And yeah, I think that is where our session ended. I can't remember if Goetzel is still at the safe house with y'all, or
No,
if he's,
No,
if
he's
he's left.
stormed out. Yeah.
He stormed out.
off pretty mad. With that, like I said, I think he had the understanding that like if y'all want that, if that's worth 30 grand, y'all go get it and bring the money. Like he's not gonna take the tow, the Momo
Yeah.
tow to the museum.
Just that
Sure,
sentence.
that makes sense. Yeah, that
He's not
also
gonna take
like
the toe.
first time sentence. Okay, is there anything that anyone wants to clarify? Ask any questions about? I know it's been a week. Thank y'all for giving me last week off.
Oh,
It turns out there's a lot of shit that goes on when someone gets married.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's a shit show, bro.
It is a shit show.
And
And the closer
Oh,
it
yeah.
gets, the more shitty it gets.
exactly. So it all went fine. It went super well, but I appreciate y'all.
And then it
y'all
goes by
taking the
in
week
the
off.
blink of an eye.
Yeah,
The
I-
wedding
like,
yeah,
itself
that's-
is like
and
no
then it's
time.
just
Yeah.
over. So there it is left, and then we have to clean all this shit up.
Yep.
I was like about to leave. I was like, oh, that was fun. Do do do.
Yeah,
and then
the
I saw my
bride and
parents
groom
like start
just
to clean
leave, and
stuff
everyone else
up.
is like, "Nope, we gotta stay and clean up."
Yeah, I saw my parents starting to pick stuff up, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm part of that. I normally just leave.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
So yeah, but they're happy, so that's what matters. But if y'all don't have any other questions or anything like that, then we can go ahead and hop in. Depending on what all happens today, we might not go the full 2 hours, just because I don't know. It really like we're getting to the hard part, because before it was like I had a very linear path where you're gonna visit this clan, you're gonna visit this clan, and now it's like you've finished the beginner box and it's now the open world, and so y'all can kind of go wherever, which is a lot scarier. So we'll see what all is
Well,
ready.
luckily, David, for you, we have scheduled tea times for some of this. So
That's very true. It only happens if you go rogue. It only happens if you go rogue. Which
Well, that's
I've
space
learned,
between, right?
which I've learned from y'all. Means anything could happen.
Lobby.
So let's.
Yeah, so there's like a good 6 hours in between these two tea times, or what's the afternoon tea? Is it like 3 or 4?
yeah, yeah, like 2 or 3, something like that. Well, I
Oh,
don't know,
2:15, I think. I think it was 2:15 last time, wasn't it? Was that afternoon tea y'all had with
Well, I don't have a
the
good check on
stags?
this, but still try. I have no idea when tea time is. I'm still confused about these whole customs and all that.
It's okay.
Yukizos. Okay, so when is
Yeah.
afternoon tea?
2 o'clock.
Alright, Yukizos pulls out a piece of paper and writes down afternoon tea, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing to keep note of. And just to refresh where everyone is, morning tea time or brunch tea time is over. Goatzel have stormed off, frustrated with how your meeting went. And I would actually like for everyone to roll me an insight check to try and kind of read Goatzel as he storms off, because I think for some of you, you might read it a little deeper than others.
Do I get an advantage because I know about Dwarven customs and I'm a dwarf?
I'll give you +1 to the roll.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
where's that?
I wrote on my character sheet, or we haven't done
passive-
that yet.
so-
David.
Ah, fuck, Waco, we need to do that. Maybe this weekend
But-
we can do that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a 25 on D&D Beyond.
Okay.
And I'll take that +1 for 26 as well.
Yeah, I need to give. I'm gonna try and give both you and Jaryu like a situational like item that just adds +1 to like Dwarven Society rolls that y'all can use, because that's actually kind of funny.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I see Jin's, Aslos, Jaryu's,
So question,
and then
can
yes.
I use my passive perception to just see if it's good enough?
No. And I do like the thought of using your passive perception. I think that this would be a little more active as you watch him.
Okay.
But I'm glad that you brought that up.
Well, that's better than my
'Cause
passive one anyways.
I need to be better at that. So Jaryu, Ventus, Yokizos, and Durna. The four of you kind of exchange glances as Goetzel storms off, because it seems as though he's not necessarily frustrated at how the conversation went, with just the chaos of everything that occurred. He seems worried almost now. Like he huffs and puffs off and mumbles to himself in a stressed way.
Maybe we should just go see if we can sell that toe and give him the money. Kind of feel bad.
I mean, sorry guys, I kind of zoned out during that conversation, but Aslos, why did you offer to give him even that much?
Well,
There was no quantity.
I promised him money at the museum, so I figured I'd give him something. And I spent all my money on the boat.
There was no quantity promised. He
Mr.
said he needs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say, Mr. Jin, that yeah, he spoke of 30. They finally asked him what a number would be, and he brought up 30 gold.
30 gold?
No.
30,000.
No, 30,000 gold.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's a
we
lot of
said go see how much the toe's worth, and just take that money. Like, it's fine. It is. I mean, it is a very rare toe of a very rare animal that we only know of one in existence. So.
Who do you think he owes that money to?
You think it owes money?
No, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it is a lot of money for a stupid little shack that he has.
Yeah, surely 30,000 gold seems like a lot more than he would need just spruce that place up, right?
Derma, you know any loan sharks or likely culprits of shady dealings in that such manner?
I mean, there's definitely people to go to, that's for sure. Over by the Rat Clan house, there's plenty of, what you would say, suspect individuals, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not saying he is
You don't
being
want to take.
extorted,
You don't want to
but
take
He's asking
loans.
for
Oh, you're
100
talking
grand to
about-
redo a guest bathroom.
I was
That's all
going
I'm
to
saying.
warn you that you should not take such loans, but okay, I see where you're going. Very clever. Yeah, it's possible.
maybe we should just ask him about it before we give over any money if we do.
Well, let's. You want to see how much money we can get?
Sure.
You want to do that today, or want to do something else? I'm trying to
I mean,
think.
it was-
So we have the afternoon tea time, the Wolf Clan, and that's pretty far south. So do you want to go do something there today and do the Hall of Slain another day? It's not an immediate thing we got to handle right now, right?
But where's the Hall of Slain again?
By the Borg clan house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Wolf Clan house is way down here.
How long would it take us to get there via minecart?
Where?
To the Wolf
Down to the
Clan
Wolf
house.
Clan.
About 45
long.
minutes.
Yeah, that's not long at all.
I mean, but when you consider it's already
I love the pause with it.
I mean, it'd probably be what, like 11:30 or so.
we should probably head that way.
Yeah, I want to go to this place I heard about in that last tavern we were at. It's called the Archmage's Funhouse. I have no idea what it sells, but
Where's it at?
it's,
Oh.
it's down south over by the Raven Clan, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, let's head down there, and then that'll be a quicker trip to go from there to the Wolf Clan house. You know.
If you don't mind, Yokizos, I'll ride with y'all and maybe ask a couple more questions. I mean, I'm gonna go head over to the Raven Clan.
Okay. Yeah.
Then it's right on the way.
E.
Oh yeah, you need to investigate where Grot was last seen at. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go talk to them, for sure.
How about we both go to the Raven Clan house while they go to that shop? We'll see if we can.
Couldn't that be
something.
misconstrued?
Well, we're
Yes.
not having.
Oh,
It's misconstrued.
Yeah,
I thought it wasn't misconstrued to walk into clan house if you weren't having tea. You said that about the Worm Clan.
No, I can go into the Worm Clan because I'm a member of the Worm Clan.
But you said we could go into your clan house and it didn't matter.
Yeah, I think he was lying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would be rude without an invitation for the Raven Clan house. Now, Durnan can go there as a dwarf and as an investigator, but you showing up might cause problems, Yokizos.
well, I will say that y'all are, y'all are part of this case, though. So, as my employer, so and so, I could have a representative come with if y'all needed to. I mean, I could definitely handle it on my own, but I'd throw them off guard a little bit. I don't know. I like to ask some questions, see what they're thinking, see what they're looking like, if they got any goods.
Yeah, Yokizos, you should go with them. We've already been to the Raven Clan house. You're probably right.
You portaled in. You've been there.
We've already knocked
Now
down
I'm
their
so
door one time.
confused.
Just go. If you want to go, just go.
It's fine.
Yokizos in the back of his mind is like thinking now everything Jaryu says is to get him to the Worm Clan. Like there was already that slight suspicion, and now it's like, wait a minute.
Wait a
I've already
second.
told you all I think that you should go to the Worm Clan house last.
No,
There's
we're
no
apparently
Reverse,
we're not
reverse psychology.
worm-worthy, dude.
All right. Anyway, let's go to the. We can continue this conversation on the minecart. We got 45 minutes, so, and we gotta walk there.
I'm not tipping him this time. We don't need to stop.
We still have
tipping
like a
these
running
bastards.
tab with. Oh shit.
Tyler and
Tyler.
Jason.
Tyler and Jason, yeah. Tyler's the night guy. Jason's the day guy.
Yeah.
Very true. And yeah, y'all kind of continue this conversation, walking now together this time, as you all continue through Tilbadel. At this point, it's kind of like whenever you go to a new city, and you begin to learn your immediate surroundings. Like you can walk to that place to lunch that you like, but if you branch out of that one route that you begin to get lost. Y'all have become quite accustomed to getting from the safe house to the Tilbadel Minecart Center, the station. And so you head out together, you head past the collective, which you recognize, you enter the Four Seasons corridor, Yogurts is on your right, and the fall leaves fall on you, which is very pretty. You stride past the Clack and Cran house. You see the Ferelto skip that looms over the Clack and Clan house. Ye Old Salty Dogs is on your left. And then finally, you reach the minecart station. And the minecart station at this time of day is actually quite busy. There are quite a few dwarves, like, kind of waiting in line. And you all kind of wait as you are slowly processed. And then finally, you get up to the minecart director, who looks at the group of you and kind of yells out in Dwarvish, "Where are you headed?"
Council district.
Council district, which station?
Raven Clan House.
And he yells out in a big voice, "Council district, Raven Clan House." And as he yells it out, several dwarves kind of step forward that are going to be joining you in your track. And he brings up a cart and gets you all situated. He adds the attachment cart that is able to fit you inside Aslos as you all sit down. And this is also one of your first travels where you are sharing this cart with other dwarves. It's not just you all, as several other dwarves kind of sidle in with the group of you. Yokizos, you're sitting next to one. Ventus, you're having to share like a little bench with one. It's like kind of all getting into a crowded subway train. And you're having to get a little close to people that aren't part of your group.
I imagine getting the attachment just uncomfortable already.
Yeah, and the attachment, of course, is still way too small for you. But it's like all they have. Kind of like suits like a big dwarf, so it's still hilarious, but it's all they have. And the group of you begin to rock off as the cart begins to slip back down and begins to rocket forward.
Yokizos, it's because I'm sitting with another random dwarf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have like a phrase memorized or anything, but I want to mutter like a dwarvish greeting phrase to him, and then say like a slight, like, not like a prayer, but like an ode to Balma or something, you know? And then be like, "Hail Balma," and then, yeah, just to that dwarf.
Yeah,
Hail
and when you
Balma.
say, and when you say that, when you say that, the dwarf kind of looks up at you and says in kind of a soft voice, "Hail Balma indeed. I wasn't expecting that from a creature such as yourself."
And then, not to roleplay it, but I just want to feel like we have like small talk about life and shit throughout the ride.
Sure. Yeah, you learn that his name is Yor. He is a member of the Horse Clan, and he has a daughter that is entering primary school, and he's a little nervous about it.
Sweet. Love it.
And Ventus, the
Personality
dwarf.
randos. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the dwarf next to you is like whenever you aren't looking at him, he's looking at you. They're kind of trying to steal glances.
I notice, and I kind of just like keep my head up, but like at the corner of my eye, I'm like staring at him, just like waiting for him to, just like watching him.
Yeah. You acknowledge the watching as your minecart skyrockets off. And unlike other trips as well, the group of you actually make several stops on your way. The first stop you make is in a district introduced to you all known as Tornin, as the minecart swings in. And in Tornin, you see a tall, really kind of beautiful building that takes up a lot of the space of this cavern. Tornin would remind a lot of y'all of Morkesh, but it seems to most of you as like the almost the glamorous version of Morkesh, where Morkesh was dark and damp and filled with kind of less than desirable inhabitants. Tornin is bustling with a lot of dwarves that seem to be wearing very fine clothing, excellent tapestries, really polished weapons, it seems like you have entered like a very rich district of Von Rieg that is a little secluded and off to itself. And as a couple dwarves are deposited, and the minecart races off again. And you can see kind of the path that it takes. A lot of sharp corners as y'all are kind of leaning back and forth as it races across the track. And that same kind of chaotic, almost unpredictable fashion that makes you feel like you're going to fall off the track at any point. And at this crossing here, it takes a wide left as the track makes a huge half circle. And you make a stop in the Urt district, which I don't think any of you have seen yet. And the Urt district would remind you once again of Morcash. A little darker, a little quieter. But you can see the long cavern kind of stretch forward, as this is known as a wing cavern. It stretches out and then ends. And then once again, the cart takes off, and you make a stop at another district that the group of you had never seen. In front of you, looming in this cavernous district, is a large, towering building. Unlike any other building that you've seen so far in Von Rieg, probably the closest that you would be able to recognize it as is like one of the bigger clan houses, but even that, it is quite larger than, and it is built and stacked like a tower of cards that seems like it could almost fall over at any moment. It kind of defies gravity in a way. And those of you that speak Dwarvish hear the cart master yell out as they reach the spot, "Fangsel Prison!" And a couple dwarves in black leather, almost uniformed, get up and exit the minecart, going to the prison. And before you're really able to totally take in this this scene, this looming prison in front of you, the minecart races off again. And it continues forward for maybe 30 more minutes or so without any other stops. And then eventually it wings you all around to the Raven Clan House stop in the Council District. Then the dwarf yells out for all of you, "Council District, Raven Clan House."
Is the guy that was staring at me still on the cart?
He is. He
Okay.
begins to collect his things. And as he's kind of standing up, he mutters something to you in Dwarvish.
What does he say?
Oh yeah, I forget. You can understand Dwarvish.
Yeah, I can understand.
Stupid.
He asks you, "I don't know if this is rude, but could I have one of your feathers for a quill?"
That's very rude. I say that in Dwarvish. And then I walk away from him before he...
And when you respond to him in Dwarven, you can see his eyes widen in shock.
And I stare him down as I walk away, though. Like, I want him to know that I noticed him.
And you see he quickly collects his belongings and runs off the track.
Can I make sure I burn this guy's face in my memory?
Sure. Roll me a like a wisdom check to see how well you can remember it.
Racist. All dwarves look alike too.
Yeah, you really focus on him, and then you move on.
So as Yokizos gets out, he does like the arm clasp handshake with I don't remember his name, but the other dwarf guy.
Yorn.
Yorn. And I like to think that like as it's wrapping up the conversation, Yokizos is saying something along the lines of like, you know, your girl would have a lot more confidence if she really, you know, like she went to school and like did, you know, like you know, some weird like advice to strangers giving you about like your life situation.
Right. And he kind of nods and says, "Thank you. I will tell her what you said about her art, and that it should be something worth pursuing, not something for me to stifle."
Hell yeah.
And he kind of collects his bags and gives you the hand clasp back. And he says, "If you're ever at the Horse Clan House, let me know. I would be happy to receive you."
Yeah, I think we're gonna make that trip at some point soon. So look forward to seeing you then, Yorn.
And he kind of gives the rest of y'all like a little salute and then walks off. And from this position in the council district, these tracks here that you see are raised. It's like an elevated subway or like a monorail that races across. So it kind of gives you a really cool view of this part of the city as you're overlooking a lot of it. And you can see almost directly in front of you the towering Raven Clan house, probably one of the biggest that y'all had seen. Only comparable to the Kraken and Stag Clan houses, which makes sense as this is a very old and traditional clan. Y'all have slowly been putting together that usually the bigger the clan house, the more influential the clan, and the Raven clan is quite influential. So the group of you descend from the cart station as you walk down from its elevated building, and you reach the streets of this area of the council district. You are really near the neighborhood known as West Council. That is mostly residential, mostly people or dwarves live here. It's kind of almost like a suburb of Von Rieg in a way, even though it's still in the same cavern. And this reflects in the demographics that you see, where up in the northern part of Von Rieg, you saw a lot of tradesmen, a lot of people that were there for food, and clan workers. Here it's a lot of families, children, mothers, fathers, all of that kind of stuff. And directly in front of you, to the west, or to the east here, sorry, Jin, you spot a shop that is entitled the Archmage's Funhouse.
Hell yeah.
So as I walk up to Durna, I'm like, I forgot. Grot was in the Arcane College. It wasn't even in the Raven Clan house, so that avoids that whole issue anyways. We just need to go to the Arcane College.
Oh. Yeah, why didn't I know that?
I didn't know that until I got right here and looked right at that.
Okay, oh no, that's even better. Yeah, I don't have like a great in with the Raven Clan house that much. That was gonna be a little difficult.
To go to the Arcane College?
College is, yes, definitely.
Oh,
huh?
No, I got this.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing as walking into the Raven Clan house, for sure. Nice.
Sure. And then I walk towards the Arcane College.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely going.
Yo, Ventus, what did that guy ask you back on the cart?
He asked if I could give him one of my feathers to use as a quill. Like, how rude is that? He just met me. He didn't even ask for my name. He just asked, "Hey, can I have a feather?" How rude.
But don't you like molt feathers all the time?
Yes. But when I was I'm not a child anymore. That doesn't happen that often.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how it works. That's what I was asking.
Still,
It's not
like,
a child.
you don't see me asking you for a lock of hair for my paintbrush or anything.
I get it, but I'd give you some if you needed it.
Oh yeah, but you know me. You're not some random guy on a train that I just met.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I didn't even meet. We're just sitting next to each other.
I was just thinking about it like if someone asked if they could have a strand of my hair that had already fallen off, I'd give it to them. That's what I meant.
Well, you're a kind man, Jin.
Hey, it sucks growing up poor.
Like it's such a weird foreign concept to Ventus.
Yeah. Well, you're kind.
Keep your hair.
And the group of y'all head over. You can kind of see, at least for the Arcane College and the Raven Clan House, and to a smaller effect, also the Arcade Funhouse. They're all kind of like an extension of a compound, right? The Arcane College is ran by the Raven Clan, so it's very nearby. It's almost like kind of like a university campus in a way, but like an urban campus, kind of like UT down in Austin, where it's like that building over there is part of the campus, that one over there, that one over there. That's kind of how it feels in this little cluster of buildings. So the group of you all come to the center, and how do you split up?
I'm going to Archmage's Funhouse.
Yeah, I'm going to the funhouse too.
Hey, David, I have a random question. Some of
Yeah.
the symbols have symbols on them, but I can't interact with them.
That means that I have placed the symbol, but I have not created the interaction yet.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was like a glitch or something.
No. This one here is just symbolizing that's where the minecart station is.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so there's one here, one down here, and then also one over here.
Cool.
Is this like a busy area?
Yeah, I would say so. And like I said, I think that you would almost feel like it's like a university. Like a lot of the people walking around in this area are like Raven Clan members, Arcane College members. Like a lot of students are walking around, a lot of like professors, that kind of deal. But there's definitely like a lot of foot traffic. It's just not like it doesn't seem like ordinary citizen dwarves. This is now kind of you're getting into like the knowledge center, and the people walking around reflect that.
And you said it's like families outside of this?
Yeah, families kind of on the perimeter, especially to the west and West Council. This track line kind of symbolizes like the divide of West Council.
Mm-hmm.
So it would definitely be like a far cry from what you would be used to, Jaryu. And so we have a couple people going to the Mark Mage's Funhouse. Who else is going to the Funhouse?
I think everybody is, but me and Durna.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not going to the funhouse.
I'll stay out too.
I plop down on the ground with a handwritten sign in Dwarvish that just says "Work Wanted" with a worm symbol on it.
Okay, I'll come to you in a second. I'll have to think about that for a second. Okay, those that are going to the Archmage's Funhouse, let's go there. So I believe that's Jin, Ventus, anyone else? Cool.
Thunder
Jin?
would go too.
Yeah, Thunder probably would go. But yeah, Jin and Ventus, the two of you go inside. And it's a small shop that you enter. Imagine, for those who know Harry Potter, it's kind of like Ollivander's wand shop. It's very old, kind of built in a haphazard way, where like the ceiling is kind of slanting a little bit. It's built at odd proportions, and you can tell that this is a relic of a building that was long ago built. It has a small stained glass window in the front that is it depicts the image of a quill. And whenever the group of you walk in, you find yourselves in a dimly lit shop, all made of wood in between the stone. And you can see that there are two dwarves inside. One is an older dwarf with white hair that kind of ripples down his back, as well as a very handsome beard that is waxed. And there's a secondary dwarf who is like putting down his bags, getting his things collected. You can tell that like he like has just like walked in and is getting himself situated. And all up across the walls are like postal slots, and filling those slots are scrolls. And as you walk in, a little bell rings, and the dwarf that's not getting situated kind of raises his hands and he says in Dwarvish, "Hail and Velvet."
Well met.
I'll just like look around.
Yeah, and you should be able to double click on the rune, and it opens up the shop for you.
And I asked this clerk, so what do y'all sell here?
We specialize in spell scrolls.
I'm not a learned man. What are those?
Oh, they are. It is the magic of a spell that has been imbued into a scroll, allowing anyone who possesses the scroll a one-time cast of whichever spell is enchanted to it.
At a game,
Mhm.
I'm clicking on each of these, and it's giving me the same description. Is there a way to read the spell itself?
No way.
Yeah, it just tells you that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you what the
It
spell
gives you the
does.
save DC and the attack bonus, but not what it actually does.
Oh my gosh. Okay. There's an easy way to do this, although that is widely disappointing. If you go on the very top right, there's a little book.
Journal, compendium pad.
Yeah, compendiums. And then if you scroll down a bit under items, there's one for spells. So it'll say spells SRD, and you can left click it.
Got it. Okay.
And then there you should be able to like find and search for different spells.
So even someone without any magical talent can get one of these scrolls and cast the spell?
That is correct, absolutely.
That's amazing.
We are very good at what we do.
What kind of scrolls do you have?
Yeah, I start looking for like the catalog or just whatever browsable thing there is to browse.
Yeah, and you do find that there's like a small catalog, a very old like kind of book that you find, Ventus, that is essentially what you see here in the shop menu, detailing all of the different spells that they can enshrine into a scroll.
There's so many awesome things I've wanted to do.
You should try fly. You should get fly.
Oh, I'm
Flying's
definitely
pretty
getting
cool.
one fly for sure.
I'll take one.
And the
fly.
dwarf that's getting himself situated finally turns. And Ventus, you see the dwarf that asked you for a feather. And you see him freeze as he sees you.
Wait, is he the guy behind the counter or is he just another guy?
Yeah, no, he's the guy behind the counter now. He works here.
Hey, you know what, Jen? I'm gonna go hang out with Jaryu and Aslos. You can
Okay.
you can browse here, and then I leave the shop.
My money's no good here.
Later.
Is there a particular spell
What's
you
your
are
best
looking
seller?
for? Our best seller? Well, that's kind of the beauty of magic. We can provide a spell for nearly every situation, but we find the women dwarves are particularly interested in charm person. But any dwarf can have use for detect magic, comprehend languages. Even a mage hand here or there can be quite useful. You must have a permit to purchase invisibility because of the implications.
I think I'm good on that one anyways. Well, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to sit here and browse for a little bit before I purchase anything.
And he gives you a nice little smile and says, "Of course, take your time." Outside, Jaryu, you have posted up your sign. Is this a sign that like you have pre-made?
Oh yeah, I carry it everywhere.
Yeah, and you just like pull it out of your pack?
Yeah, and it's got like a symbol of the worm on it, and it just says, work wanted. And yeah, I just sit on the ground and I pull Relamox off my back and sit with my sword and sit there. And that's
And Azos, you're here with him. Do you do anything, or do you just sit down next to him?
Yo, Kizos, what are you doing?
We're on our way to the Arcane College.
Wait, so who are the two I'm with? Sorry, I'm
You're with Jaryu, and you kind of watch as Yokizos and Durna begin to head off towards Arcane College. Ventus and Jin begin to go into the fun house, and you kind of weigh your options. Do I go to one of these other places, or do I stay here with Jaryu? As you watch him take out his sign.
Yeah, I'll kind of sit down with Jaru and I'll be like, so have you ever been to Tornin before? I saw it on the way with the minecart in my place in the back.
yeah, I've been there. It's got a shop, I think, in another building that I don't really know. I don't make it around there much.
Feel like we should go on the way back. Looked interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, what's this? Why are you holding up this? What do you need help on?
No, I'm offering my help. That's what the sign is.
Isn't that what poor people do?
If you haven't noticed, I'm not exactly a wealthy man, Aslos.
But I thought we had things to do. Like, when do you expect to provide this help?
As a member of the Worm Clan, this is the way that I commit to my clan. Is I offer my services.
So your clan is full of beggars.
No, we offer a very special kind of service.
And at this point, Ventus, you walk out from the fun house.
I like stop in front of those two, and I just read Jaryu's sign, and then I just sit down next to him, and I pull out my light blade and I put it on the ground, and I just see what it does. And I just sit next to him.
As you put your light blade down, it kind of hovers off the ground just a little bit, and it is spinning wildly. It cannot find, like, it would be a compass that's on the North Pole. It cannot find north.
And I just like sit there and I observe.
And after several minutes, a dwarf approaches the group of you. He's an older dwarf. He only has a mustache, no beard, glasses. And he looks at you, Jaryu, and says, "Is it you or all three of you offering services?"
Depends.
On?
The task.
Well, it is quite a simple task. And he looks a little forlorn and says, "My father-in-law passed away a few nights ago. And we need to,
Yep, I stand up. I don't even
You
say
need
anything.
to burn him.
I stand up and I grab Relamox and I just start walking with the guy. I walk away.
Right now." Oh, and he kind of turns with you and begins to walk.
Where? And then I'm like, where are you? Okay. And then I just follow him.
Okay,
And then I follow him too as I see Aslos leave.
great. And all three of you, Jaryu not included, this man, and then now Aslos and Ventus are all like kind of trying to catch up with Jaryu. All of you unexpecting this to go so quickly. And the older dwarf is kind of trying to get you to like I have questions, including price.
The standard fee is 10 gold,
Okay.
as always.
10
We can
gold?
always-
What do you do?
We can always make a deal.
Why not like 15? Like what? Like what do you? Wait, what are you doing? We burn them in my culture. What are you gonna do?
Azos, you'll see. And then continue walking with the man, if that's all right.
Yes. No.
And then I hold out my
That's
hand.
standard.
I hold out my hand, expecting him to pay me.
And you can see for a split second he's about to reach out, like he thinks that you're like trying to console him. Like he reaches out to hold your hand in his grief, and then he kind of looks up at you and sees that there's no consolation in your eyes as you kind of rub your fingers together. And he withdraws his hand really quickly and goes, "Oh yeah, of course, yes." And he pulls out a small coin purse and withdraws 10 gold. Here you go.
Thanks.
It will
Show-
be humane, right?
Oh, absolutely. Show me to the house.
Of course, yeah. And he begins to lead you to West Council. Yokizos, you and you and Durna begin to head into the Arcane College. And as you go inside, it's as you remember, Yokizos, Durna, I'm sure you have been here before at some point. It's quite large and proud. It somewhat reminds you of the Arcane College in Ocaria, and I guess in Grand City, either though neither of you have been there. So, but it has many fireplaces, large bookshelves, of course, that span its main hall. It's kind of quiet here, as there are dwarves reading, studying, writing. And as you enter, you are greeted by a dwarf who kind of bows down to you. He is in purple robes, symbolic of the Raven clan, of course, purple and black. and he speaks to you in a low voice. Greetings, welcome to the Arcane College. What brings you here today?
I go ahead and take the lead. I'm like, yes, I'm here trying to help. We have a situation about a furbolg. Who can we talk to see about the goings? And I look at Yokizus. Would you say it was 2 to 3 days ago?
Yeah, about, I guess. Maybe a little longer. Well, we sent him home. We sent him back earlier. We need to go see the portal room where he last was seen. We're looking for someone.
And he kind of considers for a second. I see. Well, of course I can bring you to the portal room. I think it would be wise for me to fetch my Archmage, if that would be okay.
Sure.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
He kind of gives you a small bow and leaves. And after several moments, a dwarf in similar but much finer regalia enters. He has half moon glasses, a long silvery beard. He's like what you would expect a dwarven archmage to look like, kind of magical, very old, very nice purple, black robes. And he gives a small bow as well and says, Greetings, greetings. I hear you have need of an archmage.
No, not really. We just need to investigate in the portal room because we're missing our friend.
And when he had a small smile on his face, he looked very calm. When you said he kind of, well.
You remember the fearbulb that came through here a few days ago?
Yes, and I remember you as well. You came with the Raven clan leader, correct?
Right, yeah. So
Yes.
the fearbulb came 2 days, I guess, before I came here with my party.
Yes.
He came over with two of the warm dwarves.
Oh, yes, I remember them.
Two of the Unduths.
Yes, they tried to steal one of my tomes.
Hmm.
An injured worm clan tried to steal one of your tomes. Huh.
Yes, and I thought
Are
it
you
was
sure they weren't
pretty.
just trying to read it, or?
No, but they were Worm Clan members, so I didn't trust them.
Hmm.
Okay.
More importantly is when the furbolg came back with him. What did he do? How long was he here before he left the clan house? Or I mean the arcane college. These are some questions
I like to think
I've
that
had.
you have clan house written on all of your notes, and you keep having to correct it to
Yeah,
Arcane
all of it.
College.
Yeah. Thought it was a fucking clan house.
And this conversation is happening while he is leading you all back to the portal room. He takes you up a winding staircase, down an oaken hallway, and finally brings you into the portal room and says, Yes, I remember the Fearbolt quite well. He came to us from here, the portal room, and he asked one of my assistants if we had any food for him. I said that we could provide him with rolls and broth, and when we presented it to him downstairs, he said no. He wanted mushrooms.
I miss Grot. So you say he was no longer in the portal room. He went downstairs.
Yes.
You were feeding him there. Okay.
Like a lost child.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Writing all this down.
That's
yeah,
why we're so
Darren's
worried
taking
about him.
notes.
You know, like imagine that guy out in the world on his own. It's just scary.
And he like just barely rolls his eyes. Yes.
Okay,
So-
so what happened after that?
So yes, was he hunting for mushrooms at this point, or?
Well, he told us that he craved mushrooms, and so I told him that the only location here in Von Rieg that has mushrooms naturally growing, as I conferred with our botanist, who works on the east wing of the college, in mycology. And when he says that, he kind of raises an eyebrow at you. The study of mushrooms? There are 3 districts in which mushrooms grow. And I think both of you, especially Yokizos, can kind of see how this conversation plays out. Where Grot asks for a mushroom because he wants to eat it. And in response, the Archmage of an arcane college informs him of the different species of mushroom that grow in Von Rieg, where they grow, like the different properties between each one. When Grot's just looking for a mushroom to eat. And you're kind of getting the same spiel here. I informed him that mushrooms grow naturally in Von Rieg, in Urt, Morkesh, and the Fengsel prison district.
Okay, you're. Okay. Fuck. Okay.
He said, I want to eat a mushroom, and he left.
He didn't seem angry at all. Just was just matter of fact.
No, Durna, he just went to one of those districts to go find a mushroom. It really.
That's usually the
It really is
simplest
as
things.
simple as that.
Okay. I guess we got some. I guess we got some leads though. That's nice. So we're at. Are we at that room yet?
Yeah. And he kind of leads you inside. And he, almost like in a mocking tone, he says to you, Durna, so Durna, is this your great next investigation? To find a mushroom?
I mean, an innocent from what they say. So I mean, it's a good thing to find him. He'll be fine. This is gonna be more than a mushroom. It's gonna be a grot.
I'm
his
sure
name.
the Rat Clan will be so proud.
Oh yes, always proud of Durna. You know this.
So I like to think with my I have a passive insight of 20. I am
Yeah.
definitely picking up on this dude's bullshit.
Yeah, you can tell that there is definitely an air of superiority with this guy.
Yeah. So
And he kind of gestures to the room and says, here's the portal room. I haven't had any dwarves yet come to clean it up since we are still receiving new dwarves every day or so as they are relaxing the dwarven hold on Ocaria and replacing it with human. Feel free to take a look.
I lean over to Durna. I'm like, just honestly, like, there's no point even looking around here.
Yeah.
It's pretty straight. When it comes to Grot, it is straightforward. He's either in the Yurt district, the Fengsel prison district, or we were in Morkesh,
You know,
and you feel like we would
there
have heard
was
that
a.
earlier.
I had a hope that perhaps if we looked around, I'd see an animal maybe in the room hanging out. Since I thought he was gonna stay and wait for you, but
You're
yes,
starting to
this
sound
makes
like
more
that
sense.
other investigator, Durna.
I
Don't
know
like
it
that.
always goes different. I can't do it.
No, not sound.
Yeah.
Like what you're telling
Oh.
me. Sounds like the other. He's the cat right in front of you, kind of thing.
Well, you said that he was an idiot, or not an idiot, but he was definitely a little slow, and that the guy said that he was gonna wait there, so maybe he was like a cat the whole time. I don't know, and like in a corner. I haven't seen any cats.
Yeah. Well, our investigation leads to those districts, and I turn
think
towards
so.
the Archmage and I say, you know, for someone who claims to have a wealth of information, you sure seem to have so little when it comes to this. And I said it like rude, like basically like you have been not helpful at all, kind of thing.
And I'm gonna oh man, just cause, let's see, I do have to do I do a little whistle and whatnot, and I cast detect thoughts, just like a light whistle.
Okay.
As I hear him say that, and put it on him, just in case. I want to do something.
Ooh, and Jen made a little purchase. We'll get to you in a second, Jen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you cast detect thoughts, and if I remember correctly, you get the
Very
surface level
minor.
thoughts. Yeah,
Very
you get
surface
surface
level,
level
yeah.
thoughts, and
6 seconds.
and the thoughts that you collect from the Archmage as you cast this on him, you can hear him thinking to himself, If you think I have little information, wait until you speak to the other dwarves of this city.
Yeah, so I was actually gonna say is before
Yeah,
that because I
cackle
can't hear
like
that,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So and on like as I walk out the door, I say, just because you're so learned in books doesn't mean that you could craft a weapon or sail a ship. Not everyone learns in the same way. And then I walk out the door.
And before you walk out the door, Yokizos, you give him that retort. And you can see that his smile kind of fades as you say that. That one stings a little bit more. But with your passive perception, you notice something behind him. And Durno, I would like to know your passive perception too to know if you see it.
like behind, like he's holding something, or
No. You
oh,
like kind of look at him and you kind of look past him, and that's when you catch something.
13.
Okay, no,
Two
you
for
haven't. You don't catch
investigation.
up on it, but Yokizos, you do. You see that growing in like the cracks of where the wall meets the floorboards, right at that angle, kind of near the portal up against the wall, a couple feet back, is a very small mushroom.
yeah, I go pick it and walk by and pick it up.
And when you pick it, it immediately begins to die. Like, more so that should happen. It begins to shrivel and turn black, and it begins to, like, kind of leak out, like, kind of a greenish air. And it, after, like, maybe 20 seconds or so, it just fades to, like, ash in your hand.
Does the archmage see it?
Oh, yeah. He's watching.
What is his reaction to?
And the lightness, kind of the jaunt that the two of you were exchanging, disappears entirely as he walks over to you and kind of looks up into your hand and says, "Well, this is very odd."
What is like what was that? Why did it just die immediately?
I have no idea. Like I told you, there are only 3 districts where mushrooms naturally grow.
You should get your mycologist in here and take a look. And then I do give like a brief like now that and I know it's like just like those weird things that happen in real life where it's like now you almost kind of respect a little bit, like not like I have respect for him, but like you kind of like you eat your pride a little bit and you're just kind of like now we're talking on the same level now.
Exactly. Now you are on the same team. And you can tell he's kind of shook by this a little bit. And he gets down on his knees and examines the floorboard more. And you can, but all 3 of you now see, I won't make you roll a check because you're looking for it, but there is a small pile, like 2 or 3 piles of ash already on the ground. And the Archmage kind of looks up from you from the ground and says, "I don't think this was the first one picked."
No, I bet Grot picked one of those. He could smell a mushroom from 10 miles away.
Do you think he consumed it?
I'm not sure you even have enough time to consume it before it starts decaying.
Because if we follow the timeline, he would have picked those mushrooms, possibly eaten them, before coming to me and asking for more.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
And he stands up and begins to walk towards the door and says, "Stay right here, I'm going to fetch my mycologist."
Oh, fuck.
And quickly leaves.
So this might have turned into something a lot more major, Yokizos. Crazy, right?
Yeah, Yokizo's
Especially
is like deep in
mushrooms,
thought.
especially mushrooms like that.
Like I'm listening, but I'm not like full. I'm not even like fully listening to you. Like I'm like deep in thought, but like still hearing what you're saying, but not like comprehending it. You know. Like not like I'm worried. Like I'm just like in thought. Like what the fuck? So if Grunt ate some of those, what would have happened? Like they would have just disappeared in his body, or like would he have turned into something? Or...
Grot just eating some weird mushrooms. Damn it.
Why would you not trust mushrooms growing in the arcane college? You know what I mean?
And I would like now to go to Jen, I like to imagine that you've gone through the portfolio, right? And you've picked out all your scrolls. You can have an armful, and you dump them on the counter.
I would like these, please.
And the shopkeeper kind of looks at him and says, "Oh wow, these are a lot of scrolls, young man."
Yeah, there's just so many that seemed awesome. I can choose just one.
Well, and he kind of starts to check them out, and he says, "Am I correct to understand you are not an ordinary magic user?"
Not by nature, no. Do you offer any kind of bulk discount?
And he kind of gives you a small smile and says, "No, I'm sorry, young man.
Well, had to ask.
We normally don't have individuals buy in bulk. It's more usually a spell scroll here or there for a problem that they're facing. But I admire your excitement."
Well, pleasure doing business with yeah, and I make sure that the last coin I spend is my special coin, because this cheap bastard is going to give me a discount whether he knows it or not.
I like it. Jin creates a discount when he doesn't get one. And he takes the last coin and gives you a smile and says, "You're welcome back anytime. Anytime. Thank you for your purchase. And hey, be careful with those magics."
Oh, I will. And you have a good day, if you please.
And you
Adding
feel
one
it,
gold.
and you feel a weight enter your pocket as it kind of hangs down on the cloth. And you know that once again you've gotten away with your best crime. As you waltz on out of the shop. And as you leave the shop, you notice that none of your friends are here. You are alone.
Huh. Well, I think they were going to the college, is where everyone else. I'll just start heading that way. And I put all my scrolls up, so I'm just walking
Sure.
around regularly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, you begin to head to the college. Jaryu, you are walking in stride with an older dwarf that is leading you to his home. Azos, you and Ventus are following behind, as the group of you are walking through the West Council District. And I think that for y'all, it would probably be like the overall like nicest part of town that you've been in yet. Not necessarily because it's like super fancy by any means, but it's just like it's clean. It feels safe. The buildings are a little less like haphazardly built. They don't feel like they're gonna fall over at any moment, which is kind of nice. And there's like a lot of dwarven children that are running around playing. It just has like suburban vibes, you know what I mean? Where it's like everyone has like kind of their cookie cutter houses with their white painted fences and the nuclear family, but dwarven style in Von Rieg. And the dwarf that's leading you there, who has introduced himself as Avum, he kind of looks behind him a little bit and says to you, Jaryu, "Do you normally bring so many people? Is this necessary to do it? I've never done this before, but I don't know what to do with the body."
This time I do console him and I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, "No, this is not normally how this goes. However, these two are apprentices of mine."
And when you
And
say that, I like to think that both Ventus and Azlos hear this.
Yeah, I just smile as it pans over to me. I just kind of.
Hmm.
And then
Oh.
I kind of do like a little fist, like worm clan.
But if you'd like them to stay back, that would be okay.
No. If they're apprentices of yours, of course they should. I mean, this is probably valuable exposure for them, yes?
Yes.
Oh, extremely valuable.
Okay. I asked my wife to take the children out for frozen treats up in up north in the city so that they wouldn't be home. This was my duty for the day. It's difficult, you know? He's not even my father, he's my father-in-law, but she didn't want to be there for it.
It always is. How long has the body been out?
2 nights now.
Okay. What would you show me, Tim?
And he brings you up to their home. It's kind of a classical small dwarven home that's separated into 3 small stories, and kind of like a townhome style. And I think that for Azos and Ventus, this would be kind of a cool experience, just because you're getting to see, like, not the touristy side of things, but a genuine dwarven dwelling. It's made of stone, and it has a small fireplace on the first story and a small kitchen. He brings you up the winding stone staircase to the second story that has the living room and a small study that overlooks a window that you can see some of the West Council in. And then he brings you up to the third story, which has several small rooms situated. And in here, he brings you to one of the bedrooms. And he kind of points at the bed. And you can see on the bed, there is something underneath the blankets that has been covered. And he kind of stands in the doorway as the 3 of you enter, and he says, I didn't want to have to look at him, so I covered him.
That's okay. I graciously and with some solemnity pull the sheet off of the body and turn him and ask if he'd like to say a prayer.
And he kind of steps forward and says, yes, of course. And he steps forward, kind of to the foot of the bed. Volvum, you were an excellent father-in-law. You treated my children with love and kindness. You raised my wife to be the woman that I love. And you showed me graciousness and welcoming into your family. Thank you for all that you provided, not only myself, but the Goat Clan as well. You are an excellent shepherd, and I am sure that while your clan will miss you greatly, Balma will welcome you to his flock. And he turns to Azos and Ventus and says, I know you are only apprentice, but is there anything you would like to say?
I'm taking notes of everything the guy in Jaryu are saying and doing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of look like it as apprentice, and I totally ignore this guy, and I'm just
kind of squinting at Ventus' Snowpad, like.
And
I kind of have my own out, like, and
I write whatever the guy asked me, like, do you guys have anything? And now I'm just like waiting for whatever he's gonna say next.
I'm just shaking my head at them not to say anything. But as he's saying his prayer, I am pulling out Relimox, and as soon as he finishes his prayer and Ventus finishes his notes, I plunge Relimox into this dude's chest, just straight down.
And I write some more notes down.
I'm like drawing a photo with it. I'm like drawing a picture of it at this point.
Yeah, perfect. And the man who said the prayer, Avum, he kind of has his eyes closed while he says this. And he kind of hears the thump of Relimox enter the man's chest without recognizing what it is. And he kind of opens his eyes and then sees your blade out of his chest. He goes, oh, my dear Boma. And what does Relimox do?
Like, as Ventus and Aslos have already seen, like a black, like almost heavy smoke like falls out of the blade and just envelops the body and essentially dissolves it without seeing anything gruesome or, you know.
Yeah, Yeah.
overly macabre.
Right. Yeah, I like to think that it almost turns the body into the same kind of dense smoke that Relamox is expunging from its blade.
Yeah.
As it happens, I lead into the guy and I just go, "That's my favorite part." As I
And
watch the black smoke.
yeah, and the man is obviously a bit overwhelmed. He was not expecting this. And he kind of reaches a hand out and he says, "Oh, it's already over. That's it? It's gone." And he kind of lifts the blanket.
That's it. It's painless.
Where did he go?
He went to be with Balma, wherever you want him to go.
But wherever you went. But where's the body? It's just
That's the best part. It's gone.
You know these ways.
yes. I guess I've never seen it. And your sword did it.
Yes, as a member of the Worm Clan, we all have these tools.
Wow.
Wait, Lopin and Sornin have one of those?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Wait. Do we get these tools when we join the Worm Clan?
Talk about it later.
And in your mind, Joru, you hear Relamox kind of touch your mind as he says to you in a soft voice, "Thank you for consumption."
Yeah, I don't respond to Relamox.
Mhm.
Yeah, not right now.
Well, thank you. I know for you it is a duty, but for me it is a relief.
I'm glad you found some closure. And I start leaving.
Yeah. And he just kind of stands there next to the bed. And Aslos, Ventus, what do you do too?
I just follow Jaryu out.
Sure.
I rip out a page out of my book, and it's a very detailed drawing of the blade entering the man with black smoke starting to come out of the body, and I hand it to him, bow, and walk away saying nothing.
And he just kind of watches and blinks a couple times. And then the group of you leave. And you're gone. And as y'all exit the house, the three of you are now alone.
So, yeah, you left out a big part of the Worm Clan, man. We get to do this shit if we join up. Like, that seems like a crucial element that you may have, left out of your recruiting pitch.
That it is part of my solemn duty to my lady mistress to perform these acts, whether it be relieving families of lost loved ones or providing an easy solution to a terminal sickness, or even acting in some cases as an executioner. This is what the Worm Clan does. Also, a more antiquated duty is to explore deep parts of the Underdark, where we don't talk about that anymore.
He kind of lost me entirely at Executioner, so I'm kind of just like blinking at him as he says, "So wait, you get to like chop people's heads off and stuff like that? Is that kind of what you do, or?"
It's not as gruesome as that, but yes, we often are called to the prison.
Well, I mean, could I do?
Yeah, I think I can do
later.
that. I think we can do that too. This was a lot of fun.
We could talk about this more at the Worm Clan house when you visit.
Oh,
Okay.
we will be. Not with Sornin, just you.
You don't like Sornin?
No, he said I'm not worthy of your clan. I don't care if he was joking. Wait, what? He better have been joking.
Was he joking?
I'm gonna take a huge poop in his dump house. I say it in very serious fashion, just looking right into Jar's
Yeah.
eyes as I say it.
Like a real threat. This is a genuine threat.
I back him up. He'll do it.
I'm gonna do huge poop in that dump house.
You'll find it rather small for you.
Oh. We're building a bigger one then.
And I want to ask about Light Snatcher. Are you here, Ventus, to visit a man about that blade?
Light Snatcher's my blade.
Light Snatcher's
Oh,
Jin's
sorry.
sword. My light blade. And so I
Yeah.
whip it out for him. I'm honestly not sure.
I find your blade as mysterious as my blade.
I do too, and I don't think I can do the black smoke thing that your sword does. So I don't think it's that similar, but it is mysterious.
And that man that you're going to speak to is here?
Again, I'm not sure. The light blade is just. This is the first time. Well, not the first time. This is the only place I've seen it not point me in a direction.
Well, maybe we can find answers in Von Rieg.
Yeah.
And then I start walking back to the Arcane College.
Yeah, makes sense to me. The group of you stride forward. Speaking of the Arcane College, I say we go back. Jin, you have wandered inside of the Arcane College. You are in the main hall. You see the grand display of bookshelves and bookcases stretching forward, pointing to a large statue of a dwarf in robes made of marble. And behind him is a large fireplace. And as you walk in, you are greeted by kind of a doorman who is in wonderfully purple robes. And he says softly to you, "Welcome. May how I help you here in the Arcane College?"
Yeah, I'm looking for my friends. Has like a group of people, including a lizard and or bird and or cat, been by here?
Ah, yes. The lizard, we saw him just recently. He is with the Archmage. They are upstairs and to the left.
Can I join them?
Yes, you may.
All right, I'll start heading that way.
And as you're walking down the hallway that he described, walking quickly past you is a dwarf that you don't recognize, but he has half-moon glasses, fabulous purple robes, and illustrious silver hair. And he completely ignores you and quickly walks past you. And you quickly put together that the room that he is coming from is the room that you were directed towards.
And I kind of shout out ahead, "Hey, hold the door! I'm heading that way."
Again, completely ignores you.
Well, then I hurry my pace to follow him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should say, he is walking past you. So where you are walking towards that room, he's leaving that room.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I wonder what that was about. And then I hit it.
Yeah, and inside you find a room that you do recognize. This is the portal room, how you entered Von Rieg. On the floor is a giant pedestal, a platform with runic carvings in it that you know, working with the insets, allow you to teleport to various other platforms in Malnova. And in the room, in the back corner, is Yokizos and Durna.
Oh, hey, Jen.
Jesus.
Mr. Jin.
Where's everyone else?
Oh, I don't know where they're at.
What was all that about?
We're trying to
he
find
went-
Grot and... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Durna.
Oh no, it's a mushroom situation is all I was gonna say. I think he's going to get the
Grot ate
Specialist.
some fucking mushrooms that he probably wasn't supposed to eat, and then he asked for more mushrooms, and then now he's gone. So, honestly, he's gonna go get the mycologist from the from the Raven Clan house. We gotta have tea time. We can't sit here and have this conversation right now.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to take care of it for sure, and get us some. I'll come back and get some more answers later.
Wait, you
give 'em
found
some
Grot?
time. No,
No.
this is a mushroom. It's a
And
terrible
I
mushroom.
point at the pile of ashes on the ground. Grot ate some of those mushrooms that turn to ashes when you eat them, and yeah.
You think that's Grot?
No,
No.
no. Grot ate those. I don't know what the hell happened to Grot, but
He
ate
most
them.
likely went to one of these locations, either Erd Marrakesh or the prison district, and we'll figure it out. And we're gonna have to, yeah, trace his tracks.
Shit, dog,
Where
your
he's
boy's in
been.
jail.
Unfortunately, we can't spend all day every day on this while we're still trying to
100%.
deal with all the dwarf meetings and council meetings and all that. So
At least you got a lead.
yeah, we'll come back and talk to
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
Talk to them later, but I think for now we gotta round up the boys and go to the Wolf Clan house. It's getting close to 2, I think.
Yeah. And so the group of you kind of begin to walk down the hallway
And
to
I do
leave the
tell
teleportation.
I do tell the guy, the doorman, basically, like that we had to go to do tea time and that we'll be back to talk to the Archmage.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, you cross the Archmage as y'all walk down the hallway. You can see that he is with another creature. This one is not a dwarf. Yokizos, you recognize this kind of creature. It's a myconid that he is walking with.
Oh hell yeah!
And the myconid is walking with the staff down the hallway, and the two of them are kind of speaking in a low voice. And the Archmage kind of puts a hand up and he says, I see that you must leave. Before you are gone, I would like to introduce you to our mycologist. This is Drop Drop. He is obviously not a dwarf, but a very good mycologist. And Drop Drop kind of bows a little bit.
And so yeah, I bow as well, and I'm like, nice to meet you, Drop Drop. I've actually met some of your people before on the Path of the Kings on my way to Von Rieg.
And he moves very slowly, like a sloth, as he kind of tilts his head and says, very interesting.
Indeed.
Yeah, maybe when we have like 4 hours to have a conversation, I can talk to you about it later.
Yes.
And then I
And he begins to shuffle forward.
give a small bow towards the Archmage and say, yeah, we have afternoon tea, so my apologies, we'll be back.
Of course, yes. And they continue forward. And the group of you leave. As you head out to the front of the Raven Clan House, or sorry, the Arcane College, you find Jaryu, Aslos, and Ventus coming up to the front of the Arcane College as the group of you are reunited once more.
Ah, perfect timing. We gotta go now. We're gonna run late.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait.
let's go.
Also, Grot
But
might have ate some weird poison enchanted mushrooms and something. I don't know. Something might have happened.
What is he okay? Okay.
I mean, he's been missing for a couple days, so I don't think he's okay.
Well, that's fair.
But he ate these weird, as we're walking, he ate these weird ass mushrooms. I picked one of them up. Well, we think he did. We don't know. But it's Grot, so he probably did. I picked one of them up, and within 20 seconds, there was ash in my hands. So probably don't want to eat those, right? So I hope it didn't turn Grot into ashes.
I remember my first bad mushroom.
Well, I can try one next time you
true.
see one, and I'm immune to poison, so if something bad happens, it'll be okay. And if not, then Grot might be okay. Right?
But how would you know something bad happens if nothing bad would happen if something bad happens?
Yes, I don't quite understand this logic.
Maybe I can taste the poison. I don't know.
David, I rolled that nature check to see if I would like from my experiences in the Underdark to know what that mushroom might be if I've seen it before.
Hmm.
If you want me to roll a different check or not roll at all, that's fine.
No. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I'm going to
Honestly,
message you
that's
on
a crit.
Discord
Okay.
because I want you to be able to decide whether or not, like, you think this to yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
So I want to be able to give this information to you and only you. So I'll send you a message on what you glean.
Oh shit.
But for the rest of you, you feel free to continue.
Yeah,
Continue.
so like I imagine there was a long pause of like we're all just kind of walking, not talking. And so, what were you guys doing while we were talking to the Archmage, who's a complete pretentious dick, by the way?
Atlas and I helped Jaryu do one of his Worm Clan ritual things, where he like stabs some guy and
Oh
they
yeah,
turn
the
into
death
smoke.
rites.
Yeah.
That's actually
was
how I
Yeah,
first met
he told
Jaryu.
us that he'd teach us to do it.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
get weapons that did that.
Interesting. I traveled with Jaryu in the Underdark for a long ass time and never invited me to learn how to do it.
Damn.
Oh
Jaryu.
well, I'm sure he will now. I mean, he's desperate.
We even had a lot of conversations about how we both like look at death in interesting ways, and
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we pretty much went along, and I drew the guy a picture, and he said, "Yeah, let's join up," kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Oh yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, cool. Anyways,
yeah,
what you do?
It seemed
Jan?
like a really
I mean, I'm
intimate
sure you could
moment.
join too. I mean,
No,
Go
I
shopping.
don't even want to. Like that sounds kind of lame. Actually.
oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to either. They're mean there.
Well, when Jaryu lets us do it ourselves, you can join and watch Yokitos. Watch me do it.
They are kind of mean, Aslos. You should take a huge poop in this bathroom.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I was actually.
And you'll get spied on by the Rat Clan while you do it. It's a win-win.
I'm intentionally not saying anything.
Oh, Jaru, we forgot you're here. So sorry.
Jen,
Sometimes
how was that store you wanted to go to? What was that?
It was pretty cool. I bought some stuff. Y'all will see it later. It's pretty badass.
Hell yeah. What did they sell
Did you get
there?
Fly?
A bunch of pieces of paper.
Putting two and two together with Ventus asking, "Did you get Fly?" and pieces of paper. Oh, what kind of scrolls?
All sorts, dude. They had a huge catalog.
Yeah,
Hell
I would have bought some, but it was the rude guy from the train or the minecart. So I just didn't want to support him.
Yeah, no, I get that. If someone asked me for one of my scales, that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'd say after maybe 25 minutes or so, you all are getting close to the Wolf Clan house. This walk is pretty neat because you walk past a lot of it's like walking past.
DC.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say New York City. I was like, this isn't it. Yes, it's like walking past like the central part of Washington D.C., where you're seeing like all the monuments and the White House. Like you're seeing all the big governmental buildings. It's beautiful and grand, and it's one of those walks that just kind of never gets old, right? Like every time you walk past it, you're taking it in, and it's something to behold. And then finally, you reach the other side of the tracks, where a lot of that majesty and grandeur is dissipated a little bit. But you see the Wolf Clan house. The Wolf Clan house is impressive in its own right. It's equally as large as the Raven Clan house, stacked up to form like a small mountain of buildings almost, with the red and black banners of the Wolf Clan waving in the underground wind. And the group of you come together in front of it.
Yeah, Yokizos takes a deep breath before stepping forward to go knock on the door.
Yeah, you knock on the door. And almost immediately after you knock on it, and like all the other doors of the clan houses that you visited, this one is made of iron and has a beautiful depiction of wolves on either side out in the snowy forests. It's very artistic and very powerful looking. And almost several seconds after you knock, the iron doors open, and a Wolf Clan member, fully dressed in red and black garb, gives you a small bow and says, The Diamond Dragons.
Just give him a nod.
Yes, we are expecting you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Of course. If you'll wait here for just one moment, Brogdir will be here with you shortly. And the group of you are led inside of the Wolf Clan house. And it is reminiscent of like a Viking longhouse. The entryway is pretty majestic as a large black marble statue of a wolf looms over the entryway. There are several fireplaces lit, and you can all hear the sounds of steel striking each other kind of off in the distance as you kind of ascertain that it is probably sparring practices in the back of the clan house. And after a few minutes, the same dwarf that greeted you says, "If you'll come with me, I can lead you back."
Lead the way.
And he brings you forward down a hallway and into like a conference room, essentially. And he lets you inside. And there is a beautifully round wooden table with several chairs all around it. There's tea already prepped for all of you. And the center of the table actually has like a little fire in it. It's like a fire pit table. It's kind of cool. There is a large map of Norvask hanging on the wall that's done in a kind of a medieval style. It's especially beautiful. And a mounted direwolf's head that overlooks the entire room. It's very handsome, and it's very warm in here. But you notice that Brugdir's not in here, as the group of you kind of take your seats.
I start sipping the tea.
Is the other dwarf still in here, or just?
No, he left.
Yeah, I'm just sipping. I'm drinking the tea.
What flavor is the tea?
Chamomile.
Hibiscus.
Oh.
Everyone has a different tea. It's kind of interesting. What flavor is yours, Ventus?
Mine's rosé.
Mmm.
I noticed there's some matcha sitting on the table, so I reached over and grabbed that.
Yeah. Assorted teas.
And like poured his bead bag into one of the tea glasses.
It's like overflowing, like right up to the line.
It's all frothy and nasty and not tea, clearly.
Yeah, clearly not tea.
I asked Jaryu, hey, are we supposed to wait for the clan leader before we start drinking tea?
And I like stop immediately as I hear him ask that.
I could honestly give less of a shit
And I start
when it
drinking.
comes to the Wolf Clan's propriety.
I mean,
You
dwarven
mean you couldn't
propriety
give
in
less of a
general.
shit and take another sip of tea?
No, it's tea time. It's 2 o'clock. You can
Yeah.
drink the tea.
So we're getting slighted just by him being late.
Yes, obviously. They're assholes.
And when you say that, Jaryu, the door opens. And in walks Brogdir. Yokizos, you recognize him. Jaryu, Durna, you both would recognize him. But for the rest of you, this is your first time seeing Durna. He is a powerful-looking dwarf. He has long black hair and a long black beard. And he is fitted in not like plate armor, but leather armors. With a large wolf depicted on his chest in reds and blacks. And he kind of huffs and puffs in and takes a seat at the head chair and kind of slides in and he says, My apologies. And kind of puts his hands on the table. For those of you I have not met here, my name is Brugdir. I am the clan leader of the Wolf Clan. Kizos, we of course have already met. Jaryu to Undith. I am unfamiliar with the rest of you, however, please.
I
I'm
give him a
Ventus.
nod and just say, thank you for seeing us in such short time, Brugdir. I realized we sent it last night kind of late.
No, I was hoping for a letter from you, so I was quite pleased when I received one. And he kind of gives like a little sly smile. If my own reports are to be correct, I understand that so far you have only met with the krakens and the stags.
That is correct.
He kind of gives a deep nod and says, in that case, it's an honor for you to meet with the Wolf Clan. so quickly.
The honor is ours, we assure you.
And then I start introducing. I introduce everyone
Mhm.
by name, by first name to Brigadier around the table.
And he's listening as he pours himself a glass of tea, and kind of takes a sip as you go through the names. He says, "Well, welcome all of you. It's a pleasure to have you all, Goliath included." And he kind of gives you a nod, Aslos.
I kind of just stare like, okay. Kind of weird. We got a bird here, and it calls me out. But all right.
Yeah,
Out of game, did dwarves
got a bird,
hate
got a cat,
Goliaths?
got a
Weren't-
lizard.
Yeah,
and
weren't
then
they?
he calls out the Goliath.
Yeah, so not all dwarves hate out of game. Not all dwarves hate Goliaths, but the Bear Clan partnered with the Wolf Clan, literally genocided the Goliath population in the north.
Oof.
Yeah, the Goliaths and the other
Clan, so this is good information.
the Goliaths and other giant folk are the indigenous to Norvask. So when the dwarves began to settle here, they needed to get rid of the giant problem. And so originally it was a wolf clan responsibility, but it became quite a task. So a splinter clan was created off of the wolf clan, which would become the bear clan, whose sole responsibility is to defend dwarven settlements from the Goliaths and ice giants and hill giants from the north.
Gotcha. I mean, I would not know which clan hates me.
For sure. Yeah, I think
Kinda gives you
especially
a-
from a Goliath point of view, it'd be like dwarf bad.
So my response would definitely be justified. I'd be like looking around at like, lizard, bird, like, okay, call out the Goliath,
I think that is a fair response. Especially like you said, I don't think any Goliaths would be nearly as interconnected to the geopolitics of dwarven culture. It would simply be they hunt us or like they attack us.
And I screw the tea glass entirely and take a giant sip out of my mead bag and I assume like a finger kind of dumps into my mouth, and he maybe sees that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think he would at least notice. He definitely notices that you aren't drinking from the teacup. And as he sips his own tea, he says, "How have you found yourselves liking Norvesk so far?"
Norvisk as a whole or Von Rieg?
Yes, Norvesk.
It's cold.
Um,
My people don't like the cold.
Yeah, yes. I would believe this, yes.
We admired your boat's salesmanship, if not the craftsmanship.
Well, we will have to thank the Krakens for that, I suppose.
I like the food here.
He kind of gives like a little like shrug. And you can tell that this small talk is a little icier than that of the Kraken clan. It certainly feels as more of a formality than an interest to Brugdir. And I think, Jaryu, you would recognize that he is doing this not even as so far to be polite, but more to be traditional. And he kind of sets down his tea glasses and says, "Okay, well, now that pleasantries have commenced, we can discuss, I'm sure, what it is you truly wish to discuss here, yes?"
Well, Brigadier, as you're well aware of why we're having these meetings in the first place,
Of course.
given the council that we had only a few days prior, it seems.
Yes.
The menace of the Yuan-Ti and the Drow has grown exponentially, and they're slowly taking over Malnova as a whole, and it's becoming a larger problem than any one or even two races could deal with. So, I understand that a decision's not going to be made today, but we are here to ask for help from all of the dwarves. Especially some with the combat prowess, such as the wolves.
And he is listening. He's running his hands through his beard. Yes. I understand your request, and I even recognize your problem. And I think out of all of the clans here, it is the Wolf Clan, perhaps first only to the Kraken Clan, that you truly need support of the most. And that's kind of the crux of my decline to support you. For the rest of these clans, the vote to war is easy. The Horse Clan and the Boar Clan and the Ox Clan, sure, they might send a dwarf here or there to help fight. But you must understand that for the Wolf Clan, a vote to war, we're sending wolves to die. For them, it's easy. Of course, they'll vote for war. Increases production, business, all these great things, but they're also not sending their sons out to the slaughter. Morale for this cause is low. The elves don't help us in our times of need. The humans don't send aid when we're broiled in conflict. And then we have our other clans voting for us to go out and die for them. I hope you understand, Yokizos, my decline of your support isn't a personal decision. It is no ill will, it's self-preservation.
Yukizos nods and says, that's actually a very respectable reason, I would think, to not want to be in the war. What if we were to convince some of the other clans to send a larger quantity of warriors to fight alongside the Wolf Clan in this?
And you can tell that he considers it. He's thinking. It would definitely be a good start. I think, like you said, no decisions will be made today. I know you have many more clans to talk to. But I think a good start from my clan is a show of good faith, a show of goodwill. And I know exactly what I would ask of you to show it.
And that is...
And he pulls out a parchment, which maybe you weren't quite expecting. And you can see that it's actually a map. A cavernous map. And Jaryu, you and Yokizos kind of look at it and then look at each other. As Jaryu, you suspect it's a map of the Underdark. And he says, I have been requesting the Boar Clan to retrieve a meteorite that's been found several years ago deep in the tunnels, so that we might create meteorite swords from its ore. They refuse, of course. You can go and retrieve this ore for us, so that we may craft some meteorite swords. Kind of shrugs. I think this would go a long way with the morale of my clan.
Those would be powerful weapons indeed.
Would any of those swords be able to be given to us?
And he gives you, for the first time in this conversation, a pretty big smile as his beard pulls back. Well, that depends on how much meteorite you can bring back.
Alright, we'll take a look at this.
Yeah, and he gives you the map and says, again, I don't mean to be cold to you, but I don't plan on having another conversation with you unless this can be done.
Understood.
And he kind of slaps the table and says, "Okay, a successful tea time, yes."
I enjoyed the assortment of teas.
And he kind of gestures to him and says, "Take one. I don't really like tea."
I take as many as I can.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely
you
take
take a
some
whole
bags
handful.
to bring back to our clan house.
Some of that
Why?
jasmine was
We have,
good.
Replace the
we have
shitty
so
tea.
much. We have so much subpar tea back at the safe house.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm bringing this tea back to the safe house.
And he kind of watches as y'all like
Good
clamor
tea.
and grab as much as you can. And you can see he's like a little confused by like he meant like you can have one. And so he's like a little confused by y'all like grasping like as a handfuls of tea. And he stands up and says, "Well, I wish you luck in your future talks with other clans."
We appreciate your time, Brook Deer, and thank you for keeping it short and to the point.
He gives you a nod and says, "Just like our finest daggers, short and to the point."
And yeah, I extend the arm out for the old arm clasp.
Yeah, he returns it and kind of gives you a steely gaze. Not like a mean gaze, but you can tell that this is someone that has seen a lot of people die.
Yeah, I return it in full to him, and like to think that maybe the arm clasp shake is a little longer than typical. You know.
Yes. It's kind of one of those handshakes where it's like, I don't really want to release first.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it lingers. And then finally the two of you break and you all are escorted out of the Wolf Clan house to discuss how it went.
Well, you can at least say that they're pretty straightforward with what they want.
It doesn't seem like they hate you. That seems good.
Yeah. Maybe that's. Yeah. Maybe we can get this meteor and maybe the Wolf Clan won't be such an issue after all.
I'm not
I think-
sure that if we get it, we should just hand it over though. Like maybe give it to them on a contingency that they provide modicum support.
Or just,
Like some
yeah,
kind of-
verbal support in the war and the council, basically.
I also don't believe that the task is as straightforward as he makes it seem.
Of course not. The Boar Clan
There's-
wouldn't refuse to do it if it was such an easy task as just gathering a meteorite.
Additionally, by doing the task, we look like servants of the Wolf Clan house.
Mm.
I don't
it sounds like we
necessarily
really
care about
have a
that
choice.
if it gains the support of the main war clan of all of the dwarves.
Yeah, what if we had like a few people do it?
No, I have a feeling this will be a very dangerous task.
Anything in Underdark, is, from my brief experience, is quite dangerous indeed.
Hmm.
I hope to
but
not
y'all
ever
two- y'all
come
two made
across
it
another
out.
Zazor.
I think
You made it out.
that's true. When are we going to visit the Boar Clan? I think we should.
They were
I
towards
think
the
we should.
end.
I think we should move that task up a little bit and talk to them more about this meteorite because the next question is how much meteorite is it? Like, if the 6 of us or 7 of us go in, I
We got
mean,
some
there's
bag
like
of
a
holding, though.
thousand pounds of stone. You know, like,
That's
bags
what's
of
got
holding.
it.
Yeah, no issues.
Aslos can pick up 1,000 pounds of stone by himself.
2,000.
Canonically,
Thank
he
you.
can do that. Yeah.
Azalos, you can pick up 2,000 pounds of stone.
That is
He hasn't gone
amazing.
for PR in a while.
That is
but
amazing.
Well, I mean, I don't want to flex, but I mean,
Goliath plus some weird barbarian trait thing. Yeah.
I also like to think that this is the first time that Jaryu has shown awe on his face that he can carry 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, Dern is impressed for sure.
I agree
It's a
that maybe
lot.
we can go talk to the boars a little sooner, but
I don't think y'all should make it immediately after what he just said. Maybe give it
Yeah.
maybe one other meeting in between at
Well,
least.
and remember the ravens, bear, rat, boar, and ox. We were planning on all meeting at the same time.
As sure as he knew that he was the third clan, he'll know the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th clan as well. Obviously.
Right, but wasn't our plan that 4 through 8 technically would not be last or 4th?
Oh yeah, I mean,
because we're meeting them all at the same time. That was our plan, right?
Yeah. How did he have such a detailed map of the Underdark?
Yeah, it's like that's totally not weird to Yokizo's. I'm like, why would he not? Like, you guys are getting the tunnels and Underdark.
I look at Derna.
Yeah, that has to be strange, right?
You said the Wolf Clan has been spying on the Worm Clan? As far as I know, we're the only clan with those detailed maps. I must talk to Sornin and Lopin.
What do you think that means? That they're keeping tabs on you like that?
I don't like it. I mean, I don't understand why. We don't even really venture to the Underdark for reasons I'm not comfortable to talk about with y'all yet.
Do you keep,
like kind of side eye them.
Well,
do you
yeah,
keep
Darna's
detailed
definitely like,
maps?
what? Insight? Yeah.
Do you keep detailed maps in the from the Underdark in your clan house that's unlocked for days on end?
Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. But as far as I know, nothing's been missing, so they were copied. Like I said, I'll have to speak to Sornin and Lopin. Unless they were a little loose-lipped at the taverns, which is known to happen.
You might hire someone from the Raven Clan to like put a auto lock enchantment on your door. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, we're very poor.
And that's a perfect place for us to end
Dragons
tonight. Yeah, good session. Good session. That's a great place to end.
GG's.
Things are getting a little more webby.
Yeah, Grot ate a weird mushroom.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
he's in a random place.
Now he's a pile of ash right now.
He's a vampire. Felix found him.
Wait, David, you texted me about that mushroom.
Grot,
I'm not
I
going to
did.
say anything about it, but is that all the context I'm getting?
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
Grot would
But the
probably
second
fight
part
against Felix
should
and that's
give you details in and of itself.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, I like to think I'm spending the time pondering like where I've seen the mushroom, and I've like been thinking about it all day since, you know.
Yeah. It maybe wouldn't be like immediate, but you're slowly connecting the dots.
dot connecting.
David, can I make like a change to Aslos? It's very like brief, but I don't really use the totem spirit of the eagle like on the 6th level. The mile like distance, and it is kind of like broken in and of its own right. Like in a way, can I switch that to the bear, which is like the because that like doubles the carrying capacity, and that like you like I get advantage on like strength checks, like to push, pull, pick up kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense for Aslos.
Okay, cool.
I can I'll change that in your sheet this week.
Yeah, no worries. I was just wondering if that was like a quick thing, because the eagle just I thought it was cool when we first started, like, and then we hit level 6. So I was like, oh yeah, this would be really useful. But like, I feel like I could do just infinitely more with the bear.
Yeah, it's like one of those that's really good for like hardcore survival, but most of the time I feel like what you can usually just do kind of a perception check.
Yeah, no, I mean I would like because like in all realism, like that would be like, oh well, Aslos realistically could pick up like 3,000 pounds, like that's the
right.
So,
yeah, it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
3,000 pounds. It'll
Yeah.
still be a struggle though. That's like your
Yeah.
max lift weight. You know? It's not like,
Yeah.
it's not like you can
We'll
just
help
pick.
him. We can
Me,
help him.
Aslo's picking up a meteorite.
It's not like you just toss it up on your shoulder and carry it out with one arm. You know, like,
Yeah, that's a struggle. Alrighty, well, good session, guys. I will.
Thank you, David.
So
Yeah, of
Thanks.
course.
Thanks,
Do a little
Devin.
cleaning.